Hi, everybody. All right, so the past few days we've started reading expository nonfiction texts. We read about the cod and we read about the giant squid. As we were reading these different texts, we started looking at features that we found in expository nonfiction texts. Today, we are going to read a few pages from a new nonfiction text. But today, your purpose and your goal for our read aloud is to be thinking, one, what is the main topic of this read aloud? So what's the big idea? What is it mostly about? And two, what is the supporting information that is supporting that main topic? So what is the author telling us that really goes through and backs up that main topic in terms of information? The book we are reading today is called Birds, Nature's Magnificent Flying Machines. Now, I'll give you a hint that will help you out in your notes that you are taking as we're reading. Typically, as you're reading a nonfiction text, the main topic, the big idea, is usually somewhere right in your title. So think about that for a second as you are jotting down your notes. Now, as I'm reading, I chose a few sections that we are going to look at together. Your goal is thinking about what are the subtopics that the author is giving us to support the main topic of this text. Okay, so again, the title of our book is Birds, Nature's Magnificent Flying Machines. And this is by Caroline Arnold, and it is illustrated by Patricia J. Wynn. So the first section that we are going to look at is why fly? One spring day in 1804, when the great painter and naturalist John James Audubon was a teenager, he spied a pair of phoebes near his home in Pennsylvania. The birds were building a nest on a rocky ledge. Later, after the eggs in the nest hatched, Audubon watched the phoebes dart through the air, catching insects to feed their hungry babies. The young birds grew fast, and in a few weeks they were ready to fly. They spread their wings, flapped, and flew a short distance. Audubon was amazed at how quickly they became experts. Even though they had never flown before, almost all birds can fly. Flying helps birds find food, reach safe places for building nests, escape from predators on the ground, and travel easily over long distances. It helps them to survive. Nature's flyers. Birds, bats, and insects are the only groups of living animals that can fly. Of these, birds are by far the largest, fastest, and most powerful. Feathers. Feathers are important for flying too. Long feathers on the wing, called flight feathers, make the wing bigger and give it shape. Tail feathers are used for steering. Short, smooth, contour feathers cover the body and give it a streamlined shape. Short, fluffy down feathers lie next to the skin and help keep the bird warm. Most feathers have a hollow center shaft with thin hair-like strands called barbs on either side. The barbs are connected to each other by tiny hooks called barbules. These help give a flight feather a smooth, airtight surface. And here we see a little diagram of a feather close up. So we're looking through this magnifying glass, seeing that feather. And we see the barbule, the barb, and then the shaft. Down here it says flight feathers. On the shaft of a flight feather, the barbs on one side are longer than the other. And then I have information on contour feathers, down feathers, and molting. And I'm going to read about molting. Have you ever found a feather on the ground? Once a year, a few at a time, a bird's old feathers fall out and new feathers grow in. This process is called molting. Taking off. Taking off from the ground is the hardest part of flying. A bird must flap its wings so fast that they will create enough airspeed to lift uses a great deal of energy. Whenever possible, a bird takes off facing the wind. The air blowing over the surface of the wings gives the bird a head start. Heavy birds have a harder time taking off than small birds do. A sparrow can fly right up into the air from a standing start. A gull, on the other hand, may have to run along the ground to gain enough speed for takeoff. Ducks paddle across the surface of the water to increase their takeoff speed. Herons bend their long legs and jump into the air. Eagles and vultures usually perch on cliffs or on top of the tops of tall trees. Up there, they can spread their wide wings and catch the wind. Landing. Landing is the most dangerous part of flying. If a bird lands too hard or fast, it could crash and hurt itself. If it comes in too slowly, it could miss the target. All birds use their wings and tails as brakes to catch the air and slow their speed when landing. Birds such as magpies and crows, which land in trees, often approach a branch from below and then reach out with their feet to grab it. Birds such as seagulls, which land on the ground, often come to a running stop. Ducks, geese, and swans, like many water birds, hold their feet in front and skid across the top of the water as they land. So now that we've read our read aloud, I want you to take some time and in your notebook, write down what you think this book is mostly about. What is the main topic of this book? And just like you saw on your slides, you want to create a web. So you have a circle in the middle that's your main topic, and then circles branching off of that main idea with your subtopics. Okay, and the supporting information that the author is giving us, supporting that main idea. Once you've done that in your notebook, on the next slide in this Google slide deck, you will see a drawing slide. I want you to show me what you did in your notebook as well.